Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Battle Through the Heavens based on novel. So let's start. Xiao Yan had once coincidentally read that the ground Rehania glutinosa was formed by gathering the heavy and calm essence of the land from a medicinal ingredient book that Yao Lao had left behind. However, there were limitations to its growth. Any ground Rehania glutinosa would not continue to grow in size after a century due to the lack of energy. This was also the reason why ground Rehania glutinosa, over 100 years old, was so rare. Based on what was recorded in the ancient book, if a ground Rehania glutinosa was able to grow far beyond a century old, it meant that the thing nourishing its growth was definitely not the strength of the land. Instead, it was some other natural spiritual object. Xiao Yang understood his heart after having laid eyes on this 1,000-year-old ground Rehania glutinosa. There was definitely something else underground. Moreover, it was this thing that had nourished the ground Rehania glutinosa. It is indeed worthy of being the pill realm. Xiao Yang could not resist laughing. His hand was suddenly curled as he clenched it toward the deep pit. A suction force surged out and a large amount of ground rushed up. Finally, Xiao Yang randomly tossed it aside. Under Xiao Yang's suction force, the pit became deeper and deeper. However, the spiritual object that Xiao Yang had expected did not appear. Could it be the ancient book was wrong? Xiao Yang frowned when he was unable to find anything after having dug nearly 50 to 60 feet deep. His words no longer contained the confidence from earlier. After all, it was the first time that he had come across a 1,000-year-old ground Rehania glutinosa. With additional doubt in Xiao Yang's heart, his digging slowed. After digging another 10 feet or so, he helplessly shook his head. However, just as he was about to give up, his eyes suddenly glanced at the soil he had dug out earlier. A surprised "her" was emitted. Xiao Yang knelt down. He grabbed a handful of the soil with his hand. The spot where his hand touched was moist. The wet air lingered and emitted a strange energy. Joy flashed across Xiao Yang's eyes as he sensed the strangeness of the soil. There was indeed something helping this ground Rehania glutinosa grow. With this discovery, Xiao Yang immediately stood up again. His hands were curled into a claw shape before quickly reaching deep into the pit. Following the dancing of his hands, the pit slowly began to grow deeper. Bang! The soft ground of the deep pit finally emitted a muffled sound under Xiao Yang's persistent, tireless digging for 5 minutes or so. Xiao Yang's mental strength was also braced at this moment. His body moved, and he leaped into the deep pit. This is Core Mother Jade. Core Mother Jade was a mysterious gem that formed from the agglomeration of the strength of the land over a countless number of years. Due to the special calmness and heaviness of the strength of the land, Core Mother Jade was a treasure that an expert would find it difficult to come across even with vast amounts of money. If one used a seat created from Core Mother Jade when one trained or refined pills, it would suppress the wild and violent energy within one's body. With this thing, the chances of one deviating from the norm during training and entering a dangerous state would essentially be non-existent. This kind of effect was similar to the Green Lotus seat that Xiao Yang had obtained when searching for the Green Lotus core flame back then. If one were to discuss the differences, this Core Mother Jade was even better. It is indeed a treasure. Xiao Yang laughed. His hand pressed against the Core Mother Jade on the surface. After which, he bent his legs. With a stern cry, he lifted it up with his hand. Soil flew in all directions and the Core Mother Jade was pulled out of the ground. After pulling this Core Mother Jade out, Xiao Yang finally discovered that this thing was around 5 feet tall and was an arm's length wide. A Core Mother Jade of this size was an extremely rare item in the outside world. With this thing, I will be able to gain twice the reward with half the effort when training in the future. Xiao Yang involuntarily nodded as he looked at the size of this Core Mother Jade. He withdrew his hand, only to discover that his hand was covered in a viscous jade liquid. Xiao Yang was startled when he looked at this viscous jade liquid. He suddenly recovered a moment later. Even with his calmness, his eyes still ended up narrowing. Immediately, he abruptly turned to the Core Mother Jade and muttered, "The interior of this Core Mother Jade has already formed core soul marrow." The Core Mother Jade was extremely difficult to form. This so-called core soul marrow was even rarer. This trip is indeed not in vain. This pill realm is really the paradise of alchemists. Xiao Yang gently patted his storage ring. He involuntarily parted his mouth and smiled. His eyes looked at the half-foot of core mother jade left in front of him. With a wave of his hand, he stored it in his storage ring. Although he had the core soul marrow, this core mother jade was also a good thing. Xiao Yang would naturally not leave it. Xiao Yang's toes pressed on the ground after having properly stored away these things. After which, his body rushed out and steadily landed beside the hole. He randomly waved his hand and the surrounding soil flew up, refilling the deep hole. Xiao Yang finally patted his hand after doing all this before turning around to leave. Ha ha, this young friend. Anyone who sees a natural treasure should get a share of it. It is really somewhat against the rules for you to keep all of it. Just when Xiao Yang had turned around, a laugh suddenly sounded. Xiao Yang turned his head slightly and looked at the yellow-robed elder, who was slowly walking out of distorted space. Have you had enough of hiding? I thought that you would continue to remain hidden. The appearance of the yellow-clothed old man did not cause Xiao Yang to be the least bit surprised. Instead, he lifted his eyebrows and spoke with a partial smile. He had already sensed the existence of this person ever since he had landed at the bottom of the hole. Ha ha, the old me has not reached the stage where I can still quietly hide, after having seen a treasure like the core marrow soul, the yellow-clothed elder laughed. His smile was mixed with a faint chill. The old me is Huang Yi. May I know if you have heard of me? But it doesn't matter whether you have or not. I know that you are also an elite dozong. Therefore I do not intend to snatch it forcefully. Hand over half of the core soul marrow, and I can allow you to leave. The yellow-clothed elder was able to sense Xiao Yang's aura. Xiao Yang merely possessed the strength of a 4-star dozong, and did not possess the qualification to make him, a 7-star dozong, feel afraid. If he had not been worried that other experts would be attracted because of the fight, it was likely that he would have immediately attacked and snatched the things from Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang involuntarily smiled upon hearing the words of the yellow-clothed elder. After which, he shook his head and said, I have never heard of your name. However, if you wish to get a share of the treasure from me, just who do you think you are? Xiao Yang's expression instantly turned ice-cold when he spoke until the end. A cold glow flashed across his dark black eyes. With a wave of his hand, a shiny earth demon puppet appeared. After which, it transformed into a bolt of silver. Without any hesitation, it rushed toward the yellow-clothed elder. The smiling face of that elder named Huang Yi drastically changed the instant the earth demon puppet appeared. This fellow carries such a powerful puppet with him. The expression of Huang Yi drastically changed, but he was also an extremely experienced old man. His feet hurriedly stepped through empty air as he watched the earth demon puppet, which was pouncing over with killing intent. With the movement of his feet, he ended up shooting backwards with a continuous number of afterimages. Huang Yi's reaction was quite quick. However, the speed of the earth demon puppet was a level higher. One could see its feet stomp against the ground, causing the ground to shake until cracks formed. With a kai sound, the puppet's body appeared in front of Huang Yi as though it had teleported. Its fist, which was a bright silver color, did not hesitate as it ferociously punched at the other party's head. The earth demon puppet's fist danced. It roared through the air. A powerful wind pressure caused Huang Yi's body to be unable to remain steady. A low, deep sonic boom resounded by his ears like a cannonball. Bang! Huang Yi's face was grave at this critical moment. His legs were slightly curled as his hands rapidly danced. Following which, his hand drew numerous orbits as fiery red do-chi suddenly surged out of his body. Immediately, it agglomerated into a flame cauldron over 100 feet large. Transforming cauldron covering sky. Huang Yi's expression was dyed by the fiery red do-chi until it was completely bright red in color. A fiery red flame also surged into his eyes. After which, both of his hands were placed on the top of the enormous flame cauldron. He violently pressed it toward the earth demon puppet's metal fist. Clang! A fist, covered by a bright silver glow, was ruthlessly swung out and did not pause because of Huang Yi's do skill. After which, it heavily collided with the fire cauldron. A shocking sound suddenly resounded over the plains. This shocking sound transformed into an invisible sonic wave that spread out in a lightning-like manner. It forcefully removed a layer of soil on the ground. Bang! What a powerful puppet! Shock surged into Huang Yi's heart as he miserably retreated. He truly understood how troublesome it would be to deal with the earth demon puppet after having personally exchanged blows with it. Huang Yi's foot violently stomped on the ground and forcefully stabilized his body. He hurriedly suppressed the surging blood within his body. He felt his mouth fill with bitterness, just as a sweetness was rising up his throat. Originally, he thought that with his strength of a 7-star dozong, this little fellow would at least be a little afraid of him and end up submitting, handing over a portion of the treasure. Initially, Huang Yi had planned to take an extremely small portion and then send him away. However, his thoughts might have been beautiful, but reality was quite cruel. From the looks of this situation, forget about even obtaining a little of the treasure. Whether he could leave safely would likely be a difficult question. At this moment, Huang Yi began to regret his own greed. Huang Yi stabilized his body and looked at the earth demon puppet, which was pouncing over again. A glint flashed across his eyes as he hurriedly cried out loud, "This little friend. The old me is wrong in this matter. I shall leave now. All of the core soul marrow will belong to you." Faced with this current situation, Huang Yi was aware that it was best to escape first. It would not be too late to attack this little fellow once he had found his companions. Huang Yi's eyes had swiftly swept over the spot where Xiao Yan had stood earlier. However, he suddenly realized that his figure had already disappeared. Not good. Huang Yi was slightly startled upon seeing this. His expression slightly changed as his feet stomped on the ground. He was just about to move when a frightening wind trickle appeared behind him. After which, it violently slammed toward his back. This sudden sneak attack caused Huang Yi's heart to feel shocked. He forcefully turned his body and hastily waved his hand. Boom. Their fists violently collided an instant later. However, the force on Huang Yi's fist, which had been hastily maneuvered, was immediately scattered. A fist made of wind escaped the restraints of Xiao Yang's palm like a loach, and it swiftly smashed onto Huang Yi's chest in a lightning-like manner. Huang Yi spat out another mouthful of fresh blood before he finished uttering all his words. He flicked his finger and a ray of light rushed from the tip of his finger. After which, he punched the fresh blood. Finally, the blood transformed into a blood glow that rushed to the sky. It disappeared within a few flashes. Huang Yi had done all of this in a practiced manner. Clearly, it was not the first time that he had done such a thing. Hence, even Xiao Yan could only slightly frown as he looked at the disappearing blood glow. He only turned his eyes a moment later and said with a faint smile, "I do not mind if you wish to deliver your companions to death. A brat who only knows how to talk tough. Don't think that you can act arrogantly just because you own a puppet." Huang Yi spoke in a savage manner. Xiao Yang smiled. After which, he slowly walked toward Huang Yi. He questioned in a careless manner, "You should know what to do next, right?" Huang Yi swiftly took a couple of steps back with great caution as he watched Xiao Yang, who was full of smiles. Huang Yi's eyes were filled with an unwillingness as he glanced at the earth demon puppet waiting with ill intent. He clenched his fist and a spatial rock appeared in his hand. He knew that if he did not do this, the warm, young man in front would really perform a killing blow. Huang Yi did not hesitate at all, because he would definitely kill him if he were in Xiao Yang's shoes. Moreover, Xiao Yang in front of him did not look like a nice fellow. "Rat, the old me shall remember you. I will wait for you in Holy Pill City, and get you to suffer a fate worse than death once the pill gathering is over." Huang Yi held the spatial rock in his hand before suddenly breaking it. Immediately, the space around his body swiftly became distorted. "Rat, if you are brave enough, do you dare leave a name? At the very least, allow the old me to know who has defeated me." Huang Yi suddenly asked in a dense manner within the distorted space. Xiao Yang involuntarily smiled when he heard his question. He gently rubbed his storage ring as he smiled and said, "Xiao Yang." Xiao Yang was not really concerned about the companions Huang Yi had mentioned. As long as the other party was not an elite dozun, Xiao Yang would need not worry with his current strength, should they really end up meeting. From the looks of Huang Yi, Xiao Yang did not think that he had befriended an elite dozun as a companion. This pill realm might be good, but one can only remain inside for a short period of time. Therefore, I will need to quickly obtain the 3 natural treasures on the medicine list. Otherwise, if I end up in delaying the matter of the pill gathering, I will end up losing more than I gain, Xiao Yang softly muttered to himself. After which, he once again took out the map from his storage ring. He carefully studied it before determining his current position. The locations of these 3 items should be in the 3 red circles that are drawn on the map. Currently, I can only head there and take a look. Xiao Yang mused for a moment before making up his mind. He still required a couple of rare medicinal ingredients in order to mediate the core soul marrow. Since this pill realm possessed many treasures, he would search for these medicinal ingredients along the way. If it was possible, his soul would truly break through to the soul state before he left the pill realm. At that time, he would feel more confident about obtaining the champion spot when he participated in the final part of the pill gathering. Once Xiao Yang made up his mind, he ceased delaying any longer. His body floated high up. After which, he identified the position where one of the 3 red-colored circles was located. His body moved, and he transformed into a ray of light that rushed away. The size of the pill realm was less than 1/3 the size of the pill region, perhaps, because of its gradual decay. However, one should not underestimate this 1/3. With the natural treasures in this realm, it was likely that there was not a single faction on the continent not interested in it. This space was equivalent to owning an endless, precious medicinal ingredient warehouse. From this, one could tell how wealthy the pill tower was. With Xiao Yang's speed, he would, at the very most, need 1 day and 1 night to traverse this pill realm. Therefore, Xiao Yan gradually arrived near the 10,000 medicinal mountain range that had been circled on the map. Xiao Yang had passed quite a number of other competitors along the way. Most of them moved further away upon seeing him. Clearly, they were afraid that he would suddenly attack. This kind of thing was not rare within the pill realm. After all, everyone here was a competitor. If there was one less person, one would have an even greater chance of coming in first. Hence, everyone maintained caution and ill intent toward one another. Xiao Yang was unconcerned about the people who avoided him. These people were unable to threaten him. Hence, he did not attack them like the large man had attacked people earlier. After an indifferent glance, his body hurried past them. Of course, not all of the competitors ran away. Along the way, Xiao Yang met a couple of experts who had similarly reached the Do Zone class. Their strengths might not be comparable to Huang Yi, but they were not much weaker. Moreover, the most important thing was that most of these people were quite old. Clearly, all of them should be renowned members of the older generation. Xiao Yang did not take the initiative to attack these people. Fortunately, these people understood the situation. They were vaguely able to sense that Xiao Yang was not someone that they could offend when he passed them by. Hence, all of them moved aside after exchanging glances with him from some distance away. Without these people blocking him, Xiao Yang's journey was extremely peaceful. Other than being attacked by 2 strong magical beasts along the way, everything proceeded smoothly. The 2 magical beasts that suddenly attacked Xiao Yang did not cause him to feel surprised. He had discovered that the magical beasts here seemed to be even wilder and more fierce than those magical beasts on the Dochi continent, perhaps because of the violent seed that was mixed with the natural energy. The 10,000 medicinal mountain range, just this name alone told one how extraordinary this mountain range was. After Xiao Yang glanced at the towering mountain range, he felt a little absent-minded because he had discovered that the energy within the mountain range was really too dense. The mountain range was like an enormous dragon, had laid down in a meandering manner. The air of the mountain range was permeated with a dense fog. This fog was not natural. Instead, it was agglomerated from a dense energy. Magical beasts could be heard continuously roaring in this pernicious mountain range. The roars were all filled with a constant tone of violence. Xiao Yang's figure remained suspended in the sky on the edge of this mountain range. He knit his eyebrows and looked over the mountain range that was covered in fog. Even though he had yet to step into this mountain range, he was able to rely on his sharp spiritual perception to sense that this mountain range was not friendly ground. While Xiao Yang was musing, waves of noisy voices were emitted from below. He was startled. He gradually descended toward a slight slope outside of the mountain range. There were quite a number of tents standing there. Quite a number of human figures were partially visible among these tents. These people are all competitors of the pill gathering. Xiao Yang was involuntarily a little stunned when he saw these people clustered here. The competitors in other areas either started fighting or fleeing when they saw each other, yet these people were living peacefully together. Xiao Yang slightly knit his brows. He mused for a moment before moving his body and landing a short distance away from the hill. After which, he rushed up the hill. Surprisingly, no one stopped him from climbing the hill. Some people withdrew their eyes after taking a glance at him. This scene caused Xiao Yang to be exceptionally surprised. The doubt within their hearts became more intense as he slowly walked to the middle of the hill. However, he was a little surprised to find that there was a large group of people gathered a short distance away. It was likely that there was at least 100 of them. Xiao Yan's mouth widened as he looked at this large group of people. He immediately frowned. Just why were so many competitors gathered here? Everyone, I think that a red circle should also have been drawn on your map pointing out this location. The interior of the 10,000 medicinal mountain range does indeed possess the items on your task list. However, you should also be aware that the things within the mountain range are not items that you can take just because you want to. A familiar voice was suddenly emitted from the group when Xiao Yang approached. Song Qing. Why is he here? Xiao Yang lifted an eyebrow upon hearing this voice. His vision slipped through the gaps in the crowd and landed on a young figure standing on a large rock. Surprisingly, that figure was the person called the youngest elder of the Pill Tower, Song Qing. Since Song Qing was on the rock, it was likely that Cao Ying was also here. Xiao Yang turned his eyes as this thought flashed across his heart. Immediately, his eyes paused on a green rock amidst the crowd. Cao Ying, who appeared exceptionally enchanting in a black-colored dress, was seated on it. Her hand was playing with a thread of black hair. That lazy expression of hers caused some fiery hot gazes from around to continuously look at her. This woman was the kind of beauty that would bring disaster to countries and cities no matter where she went to. Looks like they have all gathered at this place, because this is the 10,000 medicinal mountain range. Xiao Yang's eyes turned towards the mountain range, which appeared mysterious under the cover of the fog. He also nodded slowly. He could sense that there were quite a lot of powerful existences within it. Quite a number of people agrees with Song. All of them had anxiously charged into the mountain range earlier. However, they ended up fleeing after being chased out by many magical beasts. Some of those who were too slow to flee had even died in the mountain range. Based on what I know, there are many magical beasts within the 10,000 medicinal mountain range. Moreover, the one commanding these magical beasts is an ultimate beast that has already reached rank 7 peak, and has half a foot in rank 8. This fierce beast has used a special method to transport the many natural treasures around the 10,000 medicinal mountain range into its cave. Among them includes many of the items on the task list we need. Song Qing stood on the large rock, looked all around him, and informed everyone in a deep voice. Being a member of the Pill Tower, his understanding of the Pill realm was far from what ordinary people could compare with. Numerous uproars sounded after everyone heard Song Qing's words. Even Xiao Yang's expression slightly changed. A magical beast with half a foot in rank 8. That fighting strength would definitely be comparable to a true Dozun. It was not going to be an easy task snatching things from the mouth of this fierce beast. Even he would find it troublesome to kill. With his current strength, it was naturally not difficult to kill the fierce beast if he used the extermination lotus flame. However, he would definitely enter a weary state after that. In this kind of place, where enemies were everywhere, Xiao Yan clearly understood what it meant to enter a weary state. Song Qing finally smiled upon hearing their agreement. He turned his head, and his eyes landed on the laser-looking Cao Ying. A faint pride was visible in them. Being able to subdue so many outstanding alchemists from all over the continent in front of a beauty was not something an ordinary person could achieve. Xiao Yang did not feel anything in the face of Song Qing's incitement. However, if he really managed to gather this group of people together, it would be quite a gathering of strength. It would cause the fierce beast of the 10,000 medicinal mountain range some trouble if this group were to block it. At that time, he might be able to understand the situation and gain an advantage in the chaos. As long as he obtained the necessary items he had been asked to find, he was too lazy to bother with the others. Xiao Yang fell deep into thought for a moment before nodding without leaving a trace. He was just about to turn around when the sound of rushing wind suddenly resounded a short distance away. His eyes looked over, and he saw a couple of figures rushing over from the distance. The leader was the white-clothed young man Xiao Yang remembered very well. There was a faint purple-colored metal fan in his hand. Xiao Yang's eyes immediately narrowed as he glared at this person. The corner of his mouth was lifted into a cold smile. We have finally met. The one who could cause Xiao Yang to reveal such an expression was naturally the young sect leader of the profound Xian sect, Chen Xian. Xiao Yang and him had not appeared in the same place, but it was unexpected that they would meet outside this 10,000 medicinal mountain range. There were two elders behind Chen Xian. Xiao Yang was not unfamiliar with these two people. They were the guards of Chen Xian that Xiao Yang had met at the alchemist trade fair. These two old fellows are also alchemists. No wonder Chen Xian was not afraid. He already had some helpers in the pill realm. Xiao Yan knit his brows as he studied the two old men. The strength of those two was much greater than Huang Yi. It was likely that they were 9-star dozongs. They were going to be somewhat troublesome to deal with. By using them, it was possible to see Chen Xian's position in the profound Xian sect. He even had 2 9-star dozongs guarding him after entering the pill realm. Clearly, the profound Xian sect valued him. Part of the reason for this might perhaps be because he was the junior sect leader. However, if he were useless, it was likely that he would not receive such treatment even with his status. While Xiao Yang pondering his status, Chen Xian's group swiftly rushed over. He slowly landed on the hill in front of many gazes. Chen Xian swept his eyes around after landing. After which, they paused on Xiao Yang, a short distance away. He was a little startled. Immediately, his face, usually filled with a feminine aura, revealed a dense smile. Xiao Yang, looks like your luck is quite bad. Chen Xian's finger pressed against his metal fan. That fan emitted a bam sound as it was opened. After which, he slowly walked toward Xiao Yang as he spoke with a smile. Xiao Yang's eyes were calm as he looked at the sinister smile of Chen Xian. After which, he glanced at the two old men who were following close behind. He smiled faint and asked, "Is this your support? Do you think it is insufficient?" Chen Xian gently flapped the purple-colored metal fan in his hand and softly laughed. Xiao Yang slowly nodded. "But I think that it is already sufficient." Chen Xian's expression suddenly turned cold. Ferocious smiles flashed across the face of the two old men behind him. They took a step forward and 2 majestic auras swept out. The unexpected change attracted the attention of everyone on the hill. However, no one stepped forward to lend a hand. Instead, everyone withdrew into the distance, afraid they would be drawn in. It was not rare for people to take revenge within the pill realm. Hence, no one felt surprised. A chill flashed across Xiao Yang's eyes as he glanced at the two old men with ferocious smiles. These two people were indeed quite strong. However, Chen Xian was a little too naive in thinking that these two could take Xiao Yang down. "Kill him." Chen Xian waved the fan in his hand and suddenly pointed it at Xiao Yang. He let out a savage cry as he commanded them. "Understood." The two elders immediately acknowledged Chen Xian's orders. Powerful dou qi surged out of their bodies. The massive pressure caused some of the weaker people around to feel somewhat suppressed. "Why is it that you form enemies all over the place?" A teasing expression flashed across Cao Ying's attractive face, as she walked toward Xiao Yang and laughed. "They are but a bunch of clowns jumping up and down." Xiao Yang laughed and casually replied. "What did you say?" Chen Xian's expression turned cold upon hearing his words. He did not expect Xiao Yang would dare to provoke him in such a situation. Cao Ying's pretty eyes gently swept over Chen Xian and the two old men beside him. She immediately waved her hand and said, "Since all of you have come here, it is likely that you have come because of the task items in the 10,000 medicinal mountain range. This place is not nice. Even though your ability is quite great, it would be impossible for you to snatch something from the hands of an elite dozun. Therefore, I suggest that all of you should temporarily put aside your grudge, join hands, and talk about this after resolving the issue of this 10,000 medicinal mountain range. What do you say?" Yinger is right. Currently, it is not wise to fight internally. Otherwise, everyone will not be able to obtain their tasked items. At that time, we will lose our qualification to participate in the competition. Song Qing smiled in agreement at this moment. Although he also hated Xiao Yang, he was naturally unable to just stand idly by the side since Cao Ying had opened her mouth. Chen Xian knit his eyebrows slightly upon hearing this. However, he could not disregard this suggestion of Cao Ying and Song Qing. He hesitated for a moment before ruthlessly glaring at Xiao Yang. He coldly said, "This time around, I shall let you off on account of Miss Cao Ying. However, you should pray for yourself once we leave this 10,000 medicinal mountain range." Xiao Yang carelessly glanced at Chen Xian, but was too lazy to bother with him. Although it would be a little annoying to kill Chen Xian, who possessed the protection of 2 9-star dozongs, it was not an impossible task. Brother Chen Xian is really magnanimous. Song Qing smiled upon hearing his words. After which, he turned his eyes to Xiao Yang and smiled. "Currently, we also require some help," Since we are acquainted, you should follow us. When we defeat the fierce beast, you will be able to gain something. The corner of Xiao Yang's mouth was involuntarily lifted until a line of faint ridicule appeared upon hearing Song Qing's words. He wanted to find a free fighter, yet he was still saying such righteous words. This fellow was indeed not a good person. Forget it. I am not used to cooperating with strangers. This Song Qing and Chen Xian were clearly one of a kind. Xiao Yang could not be bothered to waste his breath on them. He randomly waved his hand. After which, he turned around and descended the slope. Song Qing was startled when Xiao Yang rejected him. His face immediately alternated between green and white. It was unexpected that Xiao Yang did not give him any face. Xiao Yang, I am doing this for your own good. Do you think that you can kill that fierce beast all by yourself? Song Qing involuntarily cried out in a deep voice, when he saw Xiao Yang turn around and leave. Cao Ying by the side was also surprised by Xiao Yang's decision. Her eyebrows became vertical. This fellow seemed to be very different from an ordinary person. Although Song Qing's words might be awful, was this fellow not aware of the current situation? Brother Song. I have already said that there is no need to give such person any face. You are thinking for him, but he does not appreciate it. From what I see, we should attack and finish this fellow off. It will save you trouble later. A sinister expression flashed across Chen Xian's face as he coldly laughed. Seeing this, Song Qing's eyes turned cold. He looked at Xiao Yang's back before nodding gently. The sinister expression appeared clearer on Chen Xian's face when he saw Song Qing nodding his head. He turned his head and raised his chin at the two elders beside him. The two elders also nodded with sinister expressions upon seeing Chen Xian's action. Their feet immediately pressed against the ground. After which, their bodies turned into two blurry human figures, as they carried two sharp gusts of wind and rushed toward Xiao Yang's back with lightning-like speed. Rat, do you simply want to leave after having offended the junior sect leader? The sudden attack of the two old men had exceeded many people's expectations. By the time they heard the cold cry beside their ears, they were shocked to realize that the two of them had already appeared behind Xiao Yang. The sharp winds in their hands were like sharp blades, as they ruthlessly hacked down on Xiao Yang's neck. Die. A ferocious expression flashed across the eyes of the two old men, as they stared at Xiao Yang at close proximity. The wind in their hands erupted and heavily landed on the back of Xiao Yang's head. The expected fresh blood did not appear when the hand knives landed. The hands of those two penetrated through Xiao Yang's body. At the same time, Xiao Yang's back slowly faded. After image. The expressions of the two old men changed immediately upon seeing this. The wind from their fists shook and shattered the after image. A hurried cry was immediately emitted from their throats. Junior sect leader, be careful. Chen Xian's and Song Qing's faces changed when they heard the hurried cries of those two elders, especially Chen Xian's. His strength was not weak, and he understood that the two elders had failed when he heard their words. This brat is really cunning. Chen Xian's feet stomped on the ground as this thought flashed across his heart. After which, his body shot backwards. No one had expected Xiao Yang to not run as quickly as possible in the face of this powerful lineup of Chen Xian. He had instead dared to put up a feint, dodge the two elders, and attack Chen Xian. Everyone had clearly witnessed the situation earlier. If Chen Xian's reaction had been a little slower, it was likely that he would have been killed by Xiao Yang. Some surprise surged onto the face of Song Qing a short distance away. His understanding of Xiao Yang was limited to some rumors. Moreover, the thing that he had heard most about was the 5 Great Clan test in Holy Pill City. Although Xiao Yang's performance during the test was quite good, it was not enough to make him feel any shock. Moreover, Xiao Yang's strength was merely around that of a 4-star Do Zone. Chen Xian's strength was of a similar level. However, Song Qing had not expected Chen Xian to be defeated in just one exchange. Cao Ying's pretty eyes contained a strange glint as she stared at Xiao Yang. She had not expected him to be capable of fighting even along with his powerful spiritual strength. No wonder he challenged the Ice River Valley back then. She, too, did not really like Chen Xian. She was also aware that Song Qing's words would have the opposite effect on Xiao Yang. Although she did not have a close relationship with Xiao Yang, she was aware that the pride his heart would not lose to hers. Xiao Yang would definitely ignore his charity tone. Moreover, the strength that he had displayed allowed him to ignore it. Part 1 end here.